It's on.
We thank the Most High for this opportunity. This is our first time doing Free Your Mind to Talk. Uh, as always, we are grateful to have this opportunity. And we're going to take a moment to acknowledge the Most High. Most High, Mother and Father of life, we are thankful on this evening for yet another opportunity to reach out, to share, and to walk in your ordained purpose. Grateful for this day and all the events of the day. Grateful for the congregation, the fellowship, near and far. If any will allow on tonight, we pray that it will be inspiration, blessing, and help and strength to one and all, that many will log in and log on and become subscribers of this channel, that they will prepare themselves to receive the great programming and great things that we have coming up for the channel. Let nothing be done for vainglory as we embark on trying to be informative yet helpful. Let somebody be enlightened, encouraged, strengthened. Let somebody receive that which they have been trying to receive for quite some time. Help us to speak as we ought to speak, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Thankful for the grateful contribution of our great and mighty ancestors. Thankful and grateful for truth. We're thankful and grateful also that at this time, at this hour, all is well. And it is our expectation that all will be well with those that are part of this consecrated progressive community, family, and that any that log in, that at this time, that all will be well with them and their families. If any are on the way here, to make it here safely without incident or hindrance. Once again, we're thankful and we're so grateful for all things. Ashamed. This is, of course, our first time in Free Your Mind to Talk. Free Your Mind to Talk is designed for people to express, expound, inquire. It's also designed for us to deal with subjects and topics that are yet sometimes avoided. Uh, we hope to be a strength and a support and a yet again positive force in the lives of many. Thankful for any of the log in and log on. Tonight, I want to share with you, we are currently trying to figure out a few things, so bear with us. We are a new channel. The captions do not match what we are conveying when we're speaking, so we want to apologize for the miscommunication because, as I understand it, some of the captions are incorrect and are not in line with what we're actually saying. So we will have that taken care of and worked out. But this is Free Your Mind Talk. And I'm going to start off tonight by saying it is a honor and a blessing. Very grateful to the Most High for this time. And if any log in, we want you to know we appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, if you're getting blessed by what we're saying and doing, we ask you to subscribe and tell others. So we want to free our mind. I want to say that within our particular arena and system, as they call it, the one that I'm very much familiar with all of them in some way, form, or fashion. Well, let me not say all. I'm familiar with many. What I want to start off by saying is we have to begin to be honest. We have to begin to be truthful. I know they use the word transparent, but I don't know why some of them are throwing the word transparent out there because they're not transparent. They're using it, but they're not operating what's coming out of their mouth. And I always say we have to clean this up because I don't know how things are going everywhere, but here all is well, and we are thankful that we're skywalking and talking the truth. And there are a lot of things that go on and a lot of things that occur that the time has come for us to stop acting like those things do not occur. It's time for us to stop overlooking those things. It's time for us to stop acting like those things are just going to go away. And we have to eliminate the uh, hypocrites when it comes to the truth, when it comes to dealing with different issues and different things that occur and happen, because these are real occurrences. And we keep hanging out in hypocrisy, somewhere in fantasy island, like these things are not real. So since we're talking about some things that we don't want to address, I want to, first of all, point out that we talk about accountability, but depending upon who it is, when it's done, there's a hypocrisy when it comes to leadership being immoral, or leadership doing something that's not quite right. When we're wrong, we're wrong. When we're right, we're right. When we do something that's considered to be ungodly, we should acknowledge it and be real and honest about it. What we're having happen is a lot of people are talking about others and not owning their own, and not adhering to the fact that when you dish it out, it's going to come back to you. So be ready to take it. When leadership operates in the fashion that it's been operating for years, the time has come to stop playing these games like these things are not real, like these things are not true. I know a lot of talk is going on. There are a lot of different YouTubers that talk about these things and address these things. And there's a lot of attacking going on, a lot of debating going on, a lot of unnecessary back and forth. Well, my point is this: you don't want to handle it and face it head on, then it's going to continue to be a problem. First of all, we have leadership that is corrupt. We have leadership that take advantage of situations and circumstances and manipulate people, manipulate situations. We have a lot of people in leadership that really should be doing something else. Because, to be honest, I'm not trying to be funny. To be honest, they do not know what they're doing. And some of them are operating like it's a business, which it is. It's a religious business. There's a difference between a ministry and a religious business. I always say that. What I'm pointing out tonight is when these things happen, these events are reported, or these things come out in social media, on the news, public, you have to stop defending wrong. Okay? You have to stop defending wrong. You have to, because what happens in a lot of cases, we have defend where we are and persecute when it happens somewhere else. If it happens where we are and it happens somewhere else, it's the same discretion. It's just happening in a different place. You can no longer talk about it. You can't talk about the man of God. You can't talk about the woman of God. That love is the problem. They need to change. When that love becomes in, then we won't have these problems. I'm speaking to all of us. When we stop talking about love and learn the value of being in and really being real, then we won't have a lot of these problems. Now, don't get me wrong. It does not happen consistently with everybody, and everybody's not the same. We know that. We all are supposed to be, according to the narrative that was force-fed for years. But the reality of the truth of the matter is, we're not all the same. But when leadership is wrong, you got to stop defending leadership to the point where you act like leadership is untouchable. Or nothing can be said. I don't care what your book says. I don't care what your rules and regulations say. Wrong is wrong, and right is right. You can't get mad at somebody because they have an opinion or they have a response or they have a right to express themselves in accordance to what's going on. If we weren't so busy being dirty instead of clean, we're so busy being unrighteous instead of righteous, we're so busy being immoral instead of having a correct operating moral compass, then some of these harsh comments, some of these harsh statements wouldn't be made. Trust me, this is our first one, and I'm being very nice and very lenient, but we're going to really get into some things and we're going to really respond. When leadership is wrong, leadership is wrong. I don't care if it's me, I don't care if it's someone else. You can defend your pastor all you want to. You're just as wrong as they are because you become a partaker. Now, if you're trying to make a case and trying to make a point, which points in the direction of things being corrected, that's one thing. But when you constantly defend it and you act like God will handle it, let me explain something to you right now. Free your mind. God does not handle any of that stuff. Period. And I can prove what I'm saying. If what you say about God will handle it was true, then there would be a lot of handling going on right now, even as I'm speaking. Now, some of the things that we bring up and some of the things we touch on are going to be a little rough. Some of it's going to be downright offensive in some ways, in accordance to who's hearing it. But the truth is the truth. One of the things I found to be so amazing is how the same thing can occur in 5 different places with 5 different leaders. And each place will defend their leader and attack the leader in the other places. It's no time to attack. How about let's straighten out some of this stuff and fix it and stop looking for a book to straighten it out and stop looking for imaginary characters to straighten it out and stop looking for God to fix it, because I'm telling you, that's not what happened. Now you can believe that all you want to, that's not what happened. So with me making a statement, by the way, incidentally, this is anyone logged in?
Yes, it is. Yeah, yes.
Feel free to comment, feel free to ask questions, feel free to listen. This is not the when you comment and it's a harsh comment, I'm not gonna go back and forth. I'm not gonna attack you, I'm not gonna disrespect you. Even if you say something disrespectful, I'm not gonna listen. That's what you want to say, that's fine. Free your mind. But I'm not here to attack you nor debate with you nor get upset. But it's time that we stop defending things that are wrong just because it happened in your little building, or just because it happened in your little group or your little clique. We've been funky and raunchy and wrong for years, and it's time to cut it out. It's time to clean this stuff up. Now, speaking Spanish ain't gonna do this. We're gonna have to clean this up ourselves. So let's stop defending where we are and attacking when the same thing happens somewhere else, because that's not right. I'm not looking to attack people for these little current events. I am going to talk about some of it. And at times, we're going to talk about things without knowing that an article exists or an incident currently took place. That's one of the things that come with being spiritually gifted, as they call it. I call it something else, but they call it spiritually gifted. What I want to ask, since we got some on here, I'm thankful for you, grateful. Thank you for joining us for Freedom Mind to Talk. What I want to impose, or what I want to ask is, why do you think it is so easy for people to attack people in one place while defending the same action in the place that they attend? Why do you think it's so easy for them to do that? If you come respond and you hear, I would like you to step up to the microphone so that the others that are logged on can hear your response, if you don't mind. So why is that so easy for people to do that? Anyone want to say anything?
Yes, I do. Thank you. To me, when you defend where you at, that trying to, and then blast somebody else, that's, to me, that's how you blasting somebody else. You taking the focus off of you and saying, "Ooh, we ain't got to worry about that because we don't do that here," even though you do it here. But if you louder with what's going on somewhere else, no one's really paying attention inside to me. Like no one is outside saying, "Oh, they all right. They always they seem to be all right, or it's good there." Because we done focus ourselves on somebody else. It's easy to blast somebody else when stuff going on to get the attention off of you, so it won't make it look, to me, look bad. But that's just my thinking.
Okay, all right. Uh, Anyone else or anyone on the line want to comment on that?
No one on the live yet.
Anyone else want to say something and comment to why is it so easy?
Well, how I feel is that a lot of times what I have seen is that people always seem to think their way is the only way and their way is the right way. So according to where they're at, they rather defend it and then attack everyone else because they're not open to learn or to grow or to get knowledge of different things because, like I said again, they're stuck in either because what I've seen, so this is what I have come to learn is that if you're stuck in a religious way, religion, then it's always to me, from what I can experience, that their way, that building, what they thinking is always right. Because as I went to different places, and I looked and I observed, that's what it was. They was right, and then if you thought or believed anything different, then your way was wrong. But it all to me it goes back to everyone think their way is the right way, and if your way is not the right way, we're gonna attack anything else that try to come against and say something different. That is how I feel about it.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? I'm trying to be uh, one of the things that occurs as well. Uh, And it is easier to sound off when it's somewhere else. But when it hit home, there are different responses. And sometimes there's a period of denial. And it's a unique type of denial. One thing that's real funny is people have this one track way how stuff is supposed to go, not realizing when something has the ability to go in different directions, you can't get upset when the new direction show up. There's a special kind of denial that hits in the beginning. Even though the facts are undeniable, um, there's a denial that says, if it happened there, we're going to act like it didn't happen here, and we're going to point out that it happened over there. One thing that is very difficult is when you start talking about leadership, people have put leadership in the religious places, especially the organized churches, we know it. We put leaders in a place where it's almost as if you can't say nothing. You can't talk against the man of God. You can't talk against the woman of God. Well, they're of and not in, so I'm going to say what I want to say. How I'm going to say it, when I'm going to say it. And by the way, everybody you put in leadership ain't fit to lead. Now, anyone on the line want to comment on that before I move to something else pertaining to the same subject?
No comments yet.
All right, tonight what we're dealing with, we start at the top. If another topic comes in, another discussion comes in, that's fine. And if someone will be so kind to let us know when the hour is 8:30. We are definitely living in a time where it has always been that there are certain limits to being able to correct or scrutinize or even have a critical opinion about those that are in church. I'm going to say church leadership, as such as a bishop or pastor. Uh, I've come to realize that we have a different spin that we put on how we handle wrong. When it's wrong, it's just wrong. Does that make sense tonight?
It does.
We have so much going on now that you can pretty much snatch a topic out of the air of immoral activity and it will fit a leader somewhere in church. And it's not just limited to just one denomination or one religion. It is widespread, it's very prevalent, and it is operating on a regular. The problem is defending it and being hypocritical at the same time has caused quite a rift and quite a ripple and difficulty when it comes to the meaning of the Bibles. Too many people want to sound educated and intelligent instead of being righteous and effective. And that's a big problem. I've noticed that lately there are some things that did occur in our general area and close to us. And I've noticed how the response is the same. Those that are there defended. And I am kind of weary of the statement, well, all you can do is pray for them, just pray for them. No, we have to start fixing these things. We have to start straightening these things up because you're trying to continue to push your system without cleaning it up. We have to start cleaning this stuff up. Now, as we go into these things, we have to free our mind and stop acting like God is going to kill you or obliterate you because you have an opinion or because you want to see something wrong straightened out.
Amen.
We have to stop walking in this fear that that's not how it's supposed to be. Because we are supposed to be that way. We can't just continue to stand out and watch things and don't say anything and think it's just going to go away and get better. I can tell you of the truth. It has not gotten better. It has not gotten better. Denominations, organizations, hear me. You can cover it up and act like we are so fantastic and squeaky clean all you want to. You and I both know that's not true. And you and I both know that we need to clean this stuff up. You and I both know that some of us that have the ability and are able to be a blessing, we are blocked out and kept out of these places where it's nothing more than a bunch of immoral activity on a daily and on a weekly. So it's time to clean it up, whether you like it or not. Take it from one that has been pulled away to clean it up. And when it's a place where they don't want to clean, trust me, you won't get a problem from me, maybe from some others. So, since we don't have feedback from that, we still don't.
No, sir.
Well, let me go this way. Do you think it is wrong for a congregation to finally put their foot down and take steps to make sure that where they are is a better, cleaner place? Do you think it's wrong for them to go forth and be aggressive at cleaning this thing up?
No.
We take your responses from the microphone. We want people to hear you. What should they do when the pastor does something that is not correct or wrong and is publicized, it's social media, they make the news, even if it's done internally, what should they do? I know they got these bylaws that most of them haven't even read. I know they got these rules that they say they got. I know they call it their doctrine. Most people's doctrine is full of hypocrisy. It sounds educated, it sounds organized, but it's full of hypocrisy. A lot of leaders don't even read the bylaws, don't even read the rules. Most of us these days don't even. So anybody got any feedback on what should be done? What should they do? Nothing. Just let it keep going along. Just say, let God handle it. God will fix it. God will get them. God will take care of it. Is that where we are? Do we have anybody that's going to walk up and respond? That's what this is for. This is the talk. It's time to clean this up. Because listen, when it's not, I try to get other people to respond, but when my time, I get rid.
Okay. Well, I think if, and this is me personally, I still believe in doing things in a way that they should be handled. If that pastor need correction, I think he should be correct, but in a way of being respectful. I think that, there's still a lot of times that it's a way to handle everything. And so now, I guess sometimes, and a lot of times, people have said what you just said. We'll pray about it. We'll just, let God handle whatever it be. And what I have seen in some places that, because some places they have to go and get I guess have a meeting, bring some things up about that leader, and I guess they vote on it or whatever. Because a lot of times I've seen that a lot of them still be in these places because they wouldn't voted out. But maybe they have a meeting about different things that were brought up and stuff like that that they thought that as a leader shouldn't have done, and the leaders, some leaders are still there, but I just think it's a way of going about everything. Because when you're wrong, you're wrong. And as a leader, a lot of times, people have felt like they aren't supposed to say anything to a leader, or the leader should get corrected. But I feel like when you just let stuff go on, you just let a monster loose. Because, like I said again, it just should be corrected in the proper way. I do believe in respectfully doing things and stuff like that. But everybody don't feel that way, but you have to do what's best for you. Even myself, I don't think that I could sit somewhere, knowing that this leader is wrong, and if he's not doing it, I just couldn't stay. Me personally, I probably would leave because I just want to feel just being comfortable seeing what's going on there. That's just my opinion.
Okay. And we do have instances where people say, well, I'm going to go somewhere else. We do have that. And there is some places like organizations where they have a board set up, or they have people that supposedly hold people accountable. Well, I have been in some of these systems, and I didn't hold somebody accountable when they're doing the key. What I've been seeing is consistently they uphold another in dirt. They uphold another in wrong. And sometimes they persecute some of the ones that are not part of the clique. Or they are harsh on someone that don't fit in to the model that they want to fit into. And they're a little more lenient on others that are part of the clique that they're very familiar with or they favor. And I hear them say God will handle it. Now, it's funny how they keep saying God is not a man. But the way you depict God, the way you explain God, the way you express God, the way God is uh, the character in the Bible, it's like a man. The mindset, that lets you know that it comes from man. So if man misdirected it, man need to redirect it. Man need to correct it. We talk about God on the handle. Well, I'll tell you now, when you get mad and turn blue in the face, that's not gonna happen. I'm letting you know that right now. That's not gonna happen. Straight to the point. I will say this. When an incident happens, we should have a mindset to handle it in accordance to what occurred. We should have a mindset to address it. They say, no one sin bigger than the other. Well, Still in the pack of chewing gum, don't hold a stick for killing somebody's child. It's not that it's bigger. They're not the same. They're not to the same degree nor the same extreme. And in the church setting, the organized religion, your mind is the target because that's why most people have chains on their mind. That's why they have to impaired judgment. I have not met a preacher yet in an organization or locked into a denomination that don't have impaired judgment and don't have an imbalance when it comes to them operating in their full faculties of their intelligence. And I know some that I have encountered, they're intelligent and they're smart, but they don't operate in the fullness because they have, I believe they say scales on their eyes. Well, the scale somewhere else. Whenever something immoral happens, we have to handle it in accordance to what happened. Some of the responses that we get, some of the things that we do, you're just as wrong as the culprit with your response. So since everybody's got cold feet, I'm gonna dive in. See, one thing that I've learned to do, when you don't talk, I will. Now, I want to know how the church should handle all these leaders messing with these children, molesting children, male and female. What should the church do with these pastors messing with these children, messing with these young ladies, these young boys? What should happen? Do we have anybody who wants to say anything tonight? Because I can't.
They should report them because they should go to jail.
Now, where should they report them?
The police. This is a legal matter that it is against the law to sexually, physically abuse a minor. Depending on your position in church, some leadership is considered to be mandated reporters, depending on your job. Some professions are mandated reporters. If you know this is going on, it is your responsibility ethically to report said person to the proper authorities so that it can be investigated and whatever crime they have committed, whatever consequence comes along with that, that's left up to the to judge, not us. But a lot of times churches will try to cover up for the perpetrator instead of doing what's best for those who have been victimized. And I can say this, I just know of a recent situation where a mandated reporter was told that a leader had an inappropriate relationship with a minor for years. And once it was brought out, he had to report that. And even though it was hurtful to him to have to do that, he told them, you're no longer talking to the minister, you're talking to the police officer. You're talking to the person who has a job to do. And it is my job to do that. Does he hate to see that person have to go through the legal process? Yes. But their behavior created that issue, not the person that reported it. So we have to hold these people accountable, and if they break the law, they should be reported to proper authorities.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Bam. That's how it should be. Instead of all this arguing, fussing, going back and forth. Church participants, whatever you do, whatever you call yourself, argue back and forth on social media. While you argue, ain't nobody turning in your ass to pastor. Mandate report. When you're supposed to report it, you're supposed to tell it. We had an incident here where we had to report it. I didn't like the fact that it was going to cause investigation, but I am glad I did because one of the main people involved, instead of handling it the right way, what they did was turn around and attack everybody. And I'm so glad we did our due diligence because out of thorough investigation from the proper authorities and from the proper people in charge, the allegations were false and unfounded. The allegations had occurred before in a false manner. So I'm glad I didn't be passive. And if the idiot is watching, don't do that again. Clean up your life. Stop attacking everybody.
I have a question.
Okay, and I say this also. I like what was said about the authorities. I don't care what your bylaws say, because most of you haven't read it anyway. I don't care what your board says, because a lot of your boards are crooks. I don't care what your leaders say, your organizations, because don't make me go there. I will on this program. Trust me, I'm going there, because it's time to clean this up. I want you to understand when a crime has been committed, not somebody sleeping around, I said a crime. Not somebody slept with your cousin or your mom, because you jumping on your mom. But it takes two, okay? I'm talking about these crimes where these pastors are still pastors, and the church took the side of the pastor and let the victim go undefended. Let the victim go without help. Countless incidents have happened where people had to grow up in these places, walk around as victims, walk around scarred, walking around tarnished and blemished, while these shouting, speaking in tongues, glug, 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 running around all through the building, thinking nothing of it. You got to defend your home front, your little dirty home front. You got to defend it. When it's a crime, it's a crime. I'm amazed at how all these crimes are committed, and they don't get prosecuted, they don't go to jail. Some of the churches pay for them to be defended. Some of the churches pay the families off. And any families that took a payoff for your child to remain a victim, something's wrong with you too. Now you get on here and cuss and holler. I ain't gonna respond. Wasting your time with your trifling behind. This is the talk. This ain't service. You can kiss my grits and my frosted flakes if you think I'm gonna sit there and go back and forth with you because you ain't clear of the fact that you were wrong. And conviction is eating you up like termites on wood. Don't get mad at me because you were wrong. So I'm amazed at how these criminals are not prosecuted, how these victims are even thrown out of the place, persecuted, scorned, looked at bad. You can't talk about the past like that. I'm doing it. Come do something about it. What's the question?
So in the system, the Bible, it says, if I'm not mistaken, how when you handle a matter, is that why it says you handle a matter in-house? You don't involve the court system, you don't involve the world, that's what has been said for years. And as they fed that, to me, bit of nonsense now, because many things have transpired because you try to keep it in-house when there are laws that should be abided by. But they say church and state is different. Church, law of the land, it's supposed to be laws of the land, but when it comes to that, it's still a law of the land, but when it comes to church, it doesn't have nothing to do with the church. It's like, it's a double standard. It's like hypocritical thinking and doing, and stuff does not get solved. And so, my question is that reason why they have that written in the Bible so that they can still keep stuff hush hush, or still keep it still comes out. It might come out some years, and people might still be scarred and having to deal with so many years. It does eventually come out, but it should have come out in the beginning if, to me, didn't follow that. I'm just asking.
Okay, because you went to more than one thing. But you asked, do we have people on?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna get back. That was put in that Bible strategically in the same mindset that they had to keep stuff amongst the ones that are there, whether it's an organization or plantation or secret society or social group. That God never spoke these things. These things are from man. This was put there so that they can. This is why people have that occult mentality to attack you if you address things that are wrong. This is why people take the side of wrong while they say it's going to be representing holiness and righteousness. This is why the victims are pushed aside and ostracized and even excommunicated from these dirty places that we need to clean up. They say you don't suppose it, but the same ones that tell you that, they do. They know. They say, well, we're in the world and not of the world. Let me say this. There is no church, nowhere, no denomination, nowhere, no preacher, teacher, prophet, whatever you want to call yourself, especially you false apostles. None of you are in the world but not of the world. You do not have the ability to accomplish that. That's a statement that derived from something else. And it sounds good and it sounds witty, but it is not a reality. You are in the world and of the world. You came from out of hiding. You didn't come out of the sky. You came from the womb. You're of the world and in the world. I'm of the spirit, not so. We come here spiritual, yes. Too many times you want to be of instead of being in. I don't care who get mad. There's no vessel preaching, teaching, prophesying, whatever you're doing, because most of you are hypocrites. You are in the world and of the world. Well, we supposed to be in the world but not of the world. Yes, they made that statement to make you justify this mess they go on that we need to clean up. To make you justify your attitudes, your moods, your wicked disposition, your mentality. Those statements were strategically put. I'm telling you, the whole thing is set up like a experiment in psychology. There's so much mental grooming in there, it don't make no sense. So your question is, yes, that's why that's there. That's why some people walk around in silence, emerita, cold silence. That's why they walk around in silence, looking shamefaced because they're victims. And they sit there as victims, Sunday after Sunday, in front of these overdressed hypocrites and these overglorified crooks and liars. They don't want to correct themselves nor clean up, but it's time to clean this stuff up. So yes, that's why it's there. Now, should the pastor be allowed to continue to pastor after molesting a child? See, I told you, you don't talk, I bring out stuff. This is the talk. Should the pastor still be allowed to be the pastor after molesting a child? Are we hearing about forgiveness? I didn't say should they be forgiven. I said should they be allowed to continue to pastor after molesting a child?
You gonna pastor and do?
Anyone? Anyone on the line comment? Should the pastor be allowed to continue to pastor?
Does he have a prison ministry?
A prison ministry?
Uh-huh.
No, it's still in the pulpit.
Well, I mean, if I guess my response would be the only way they would need to pastor if they're gonna pastor the people in jail with them, in prison with them. But they should not be in anybody's pulpit, because how would you want to stand up there and preach righteousness and you ain't been held accountable for your unrighteousness? That's hypocritical.
It is very much so.
Go get your stuff together. Go be held. You know, if you've done it right, you've been held accountable, you've done your time, and okay, you get it together, you come back. But with some limitations and some things around you to help you stay out of trouble.
Now I'm gonna get in trouble. They should not be allowed to pastor ever again. Ever again. When you molest a baby or you molest a child, well, they deserve a second chance. Your second chance is we forgive you, you're still in the building, but you can't be the leader. You can't be the leader. Because what happens in church, there's this fantasy, an imaginary understanding that forgiveness fixes everything.
It does not.
Well, we forgave, and if we forgave, God forgave. I got news for you. You're a liar. You do not know what God forgives and what God does not forgive. Everything you know about God came from man. So stop lying. Well, if you don't forgive, God will forgive. That's a lie. We use forgiveness as a tool of hypocrisy. We use it as a tool of bondage. We use it as a tool of control. We use it as a tool of justification. I can keep going. Justice is a slave that's used by many, but freed by none. Put that on the shirt. That didn't come from nobody but M.E. It came from me. I didn't read that in a book. I didn't get that from nobody but me. Justice is a slave. It's used by me, but freed by none. Put it on the shirt. I believe they should not pastor again because that's an innocent child. And there is something, see, these things are not in books. As educated as we are, there's a part of you, once you do something like that, you don't fix that. You take preventive measures to make sure it doesn't reoccur. You don't fix it because that once they get that taste of messing with that child, they are subject to do it again. So we don't take preventive measures. We are very reckless, very loose, very irresponsible, but very big mouthed and talkative, like mule-sized teeth when it comes to defending this rubbish and this foolishness. There's nothing holy and righteous about letting someone who molests children on a regular get back up in a pulpit in leadership. And denominations do it across the board. So don't think I'm pointing out just the one I'm directly familiar with. No, it's all dirty. It's all wrong. There are little girls that promise to old nasty men as early as 3 years old. And we talk about God is God. Stop blaming God. Stop typing on God. Get off your lazy behind and let's clean this up. You get mad at me for everything. It ain't gonna move me one bit to the left or right. I am walking in an ordained purpose, and you're gonna have to get up early in the morning to stop me. I am not only an apostle, I'm a shaman, and I'm a sniper, and I'm a soul snatcher. So when you come, you better come correct, because I'm equipped, baby, and I'm ready. It's time to stop covering this stuff up. Yes, they belong in prison. Yes, they should be, but it ain't gonna fix it locking them up. Well, it ain't gonna fix it keeping them up. This cosmetic stuff y'all call it holiness and righteousness is a bunch of foolishness. It is time to clean it up. No comments from the left?
Yes, Minister Pay said it's butt whipping time, and Sister Shella is watching.
She said it's butt whipping time.
Yes, sir.
I hear you. I hear you. So we agree that they should be handled. I don't necessarily believe they should be put back in leadership because children are involved. Look, once you're attracted to a woman, you don't stop being attracted to a woman overnight. Being attracted to a man, same thing. That's a whole other subject. But what we're dealing with tonight is the leadership. So when the leadership mess with children, we have to be very protective. we have to be very correct in how we handle it. And to put that person, well, you should forgive them. I didn't say, no, we're not going to forgive. But we're using forgiveness as a badge of foolishness and an excuse to be passive.
Right.
And we got to stop. Remember, this child is going to grow up. This child is going to get older. And this child is going to have to deal with everyday life and be scarred. And stop attacking people that show up trying to help victims get back on track and get their life back together. Stop calling them the devil. You the devil for going along with it.
Okay, I have a question.
Now we have a question, Greg.
Should they, you said it shouldn't come, be back as a pastor?
Absolutely not.
Should they come back in the building at all?
Yes. Yes. Excluding them from the building is another thing. And I strongly believe that they should still be allowed to come back in the building, but not as a leader. No. Not as a leader, not as a minister. No.
If that person is still there that they victimized, how do you separate? How do they, what's the question? How do they get themselves back together if the person that did it is still there?
Now, believe it or not, and this is going to sound strange and funny, they are all right being in the same place as that person, but they're not always all right being in the same space as that person. You understand what I'm saying? They can function being in the same building, but they would not be all right with that person coming around them every time, talking to them every time, wanting to touch them every time. That's going to be a problem. What ultimately has to happen is when those situations occur, the leadership of that place need to be more involved and more active instead of just want to stand up there and look almighty and all powerful because you've been big Q, big Q. You got the ability to stand up there with the microphone with big whoop. Need to be more active. Most pastors don't know the people they're in front of. Don't know their names, don't know their children's names. Most of them don't. Well, there's too many people in here. Well, get your behind over here. You don't want to be effective? Go somewhere you don't have to be. We have to be more active. We have to be more aggressive. We have to be more considerate and more compassionate toward everyone. We can't just go along with that person because we know them or we knew them longer, and now they're back in the building. We're trying to make them comfortable while making the victim uncomfortable. So it could happen. It could happen. But it's kind of difficult if you're not going to do things to help the victim as well as the one that was perpetrated.
Legally, if someone is convicted of being a child molester, they are now on the sex offenders registry. They are not allowed to be in the vicinity where children are. So they wouldn't be allowed to be in buildings where children are because they're now, they have to remain a certain distance away from children. So technically, depending on how big that building is, they 9 times out of 10, they would not be allowed. They have to live a certain distance away from schools. They have to live a certain distance away from where children frequent. Just again, those preventative measures that has to be put in place to protect children from this type of person.
Y'all see the smile on my face? See, this is why we're doing this. We got to clean this up. Now, y'all heard what was said. Now, you tell me that that's what the church do. Y'all heard what was said. And it is 100% correct. As a matter of fact, there are some pastors that after they were found out, because some pastors relocated, because they know the legal ramifications and repercussions. And once they're found out, they are immediately removed.
Is that how Catholics do it? That's why the Catholics do it.
That's a whole different story. They do a lot of protecting.
They do that.
They protect, they move around so they can do the same crime. Now you open it up, a nice canvas makes it work. So yeah,
Can I go back to someone else?
not from there.
Not from who?
Follow the dynamic of the program, please. The microphone.
Oh, that's, I'm asking, can I go back?
Yes.
So today, I know of somebody that, you know, we know of somebody that did this thing. If I see them want to come here, I'm going to block them. They're not coming. Even if they know that they might try, I will do all I can to make sure they don't. I know you said it shouldn't, you know,
I understand what you just said.
because of what has happened in the past. I don't know if they're rehabilitated. I guess that's the word.
I understand that, yes.
But I'm not taking a chance on another one being a victim by letting them come in here and letting them do that. You know, I know you said that's the legally they can't do that. Anyway,
They're not supposed
they're not supposed to, but they do that. They try to find a way to get around.
My
So
dear, the church is designed to let them back in. The church is set up to let them back in. How else can you get away with paying off a family to look the other way when their child was the victim? And all of them still sitting in that same cooped up building, having service, jumping around, wiggling, sliding, jumping, dancing. When legally you just heard that that person is supposed to be a registered sex offender and they're not supposed to be allowed. But yet the church over and over and over, some organizations are full of the history of it. And they got their head up in the air like they're so holy and righteous. Kiss my grits. You're the one with that delusional mindset. You just heard you're not supposed to. And speaking of the incident that you just spoke of, that individual is permanently on notice to not ever be able to attend. That's just a fact. We didn't have to personally handle that at all. That is a fact. And that's why I said we need to be more active. The church historically defines law, defines righteousness, defines truth, defines cleanliness, defines reason. The church is historically immoral. We just heard that legally they're not supposed to. But how many times have you heard that they didn't do the background check? How many times have you heard they let them in because that's their relative? How many times have you heard that they let them in because they know them and they can vouch for them and they will never do that again? Here again, the word passive. Someone spelled passive.
P-A-S-S-I-V-E.
Yes, drop the P and drop the I. Buildings are full of those three letters. Those three letters backwards. That word backwards. Always defending it, always justifying it, always defining what's right and say, well, God said, and God never said any of that. Well, the scripture says, I don't care what the scripture says. Free your mind and be a moral person. Be a good person. Be a righteous person. I don't care what it says. Well, you're supposed to be forgiven. Yes. What forgiveness got to do with protecting? What forgiveness got to do with doing the right thing? I forgive you, but I'm not going to put you in a position where It reoccurs. I'm not going to help you violate. I'm not going to help you do wrong. Yes, I forgive you, but I'm not going to be your fool. We don't have a comment from the line. Wow,
So,
the right church folk ain't on here yet. When they get on here, they gonna comment. And I want them to be able to free themselves. Because most of the folk argue back with, no, let them talk. They tell them what they say. So we're hearing that it's not even legal for them to do it, but the church do it already. There are young ladies and young men, there are little girls and little boys being abused and molested in these religious places. Denomination has no bearing on it. Religion has no bearing on it. It's happening. The young are being victimized on a regular. That's right. It's happening. Some of the subject matter we're going to talk about in Free Your Mind to Talk may not necessarily be suitable for some people that can't take the truth, but yet we're going to address it. So we have addressed the fact that it does occur, it does take place. It, even in today, is taking place. Now, they have in place what they call Christian counselors. Christian counselors. This is not opinion, this is fact. They have Christian counselors. I've heard some of the advice that some of them give. I have been in the midst of some of them. I've even talked to some of them. All of them need to just shut down and let the other professionals handle stuff. Christian is a label. It's not an honorable label everywhere, but it's a label. It's not a title, it's a label. So when we're talking about these children being messed with, and we're talking about this is the pastor, I'm going to bring up this incident because it was unfortunate. There was an incident where the pastor and his wife took in a teenage foster daughter. And the result of that was the pastor and his wife ended up being locked up because they not only was he sleeping with her, he was pimping her out. This is the pastor. When the story broke and when people were talking about the behavior of the pastor, the behavior of his wife, and he wasn't the only one, he had help. The church immediately went to the defense of the pastor and his wife, immediately went to the defense of the others involved. Nobody had any compassion for the victim. Nobody had any sympathy for the victim. As a matter of fact, the victim and the other sister, which was the incest, was attacked by the church, was located by the church. It said about the nasty pastor and his nasty wife. This actually occurred. This took place. This young lady had to keep coming to service. This young lady had to keep being pimped out until a real friend, because some of her other young ladies were joining in because they wanted to have sex. But one of her real friends, when they got into it, that's how they got caught. She reported, she told her. And they got mad at her for telling. There's a sinister mindset that exists within these churches. You ain't got right to say, oh, yes, I do. We got to clean this up. Keep watching. You're going to hear some stuff come out of my mouth that's going to shock you. Your pastor might be guilty.
there's a comment.
Yes.
Sister Witt said, that's right. A lot of people that think forgiveness means act like nothing happened.
You're exactly right. And some people have a hard time coping with handling forgiveness because of the way it was presented to them. And some people have not yet come to grips with themselves because they're trapped in the organized, designed prison of forgiveness that was presented to them. You can't think about it that way, you gotta forgive them. You can't talk that way, you gotta forgive them. You can't be that way, you gotta forgive them. But where's the help for the victim? The victim need help and assistance. The victim need to get back to the mainstream of life. Where's the help for the victim? Any other comment?
No, sir.
I want to take a stand at something else while we free your mind and talk. That's what this is. This is free your mind and talk. I'm enjoying the talk. Yes. While we're on the subject of leaders and moral behavior and the handling of such, it has become a new thing, I guess it's new, that leaders are targeting the elderly. They're targeting their money. They're targeting their good name. And they're getting away with it in a lot of places. Some places they have been caught. Some places they are currently facing things because of their actions. But a lot of these places, the pastor is already on a salary. The pastor is already on a salary. So evidently, power is dangerous. Having that position gives them this untouchable mindset to where they feel like they can do what they want to do, how they want to do, to whoever they want to do it to. And I guess what they're getting in money ain't enough. I can't wait till we talk about some of these money issues. But they have started to target the elderly. Some have taken out loans in their names. Some have tricked them into signing over their check to them. Some have even tricked them into signing over their possessions after they leave here. Some have betrayed their trust by using their credit card without their permission. There are a lot of things that happen to the elderly that leadership have begun to make victims out of them. And I'm not asking you to perfectly have the answers for everything, but does anybody have an opinion as to why these senior citizens suddenly became a target? Anyone have an opinion, feedback, anything? Because it is happening.
It is happening.
I know a place around here where the person was sitting in there, they buying $8 and they ain't nothing but a check to the pastor.
And that's partially why they are becoming targets, because number one, that generation was known to be loyal to their pastors and their churches. And they were often willing to do just about anything, some of them anything, to support their pastors and their churches. Many of them don't have family that looks out for them. So again, that's another vulnerability. Many of them are not in their, they are experiencing some cognitive issues. Therefore, they're easily manipulated. So any person that's trying to con somebody, they're going to always look for the obvious, most vulnerable victim. And right now, the elderly are, because many of them may have, even if it's their social security, they have something that the person can manipulate them out of.
Mm.
And it's really about what's the easiest target. And a lot of times that is an elderly person.
Unfortunately. And that's sad. That's sad that it's happening now. And that's why I like the current situation. I know what I'm talking about. And if anyone here listen, get mad, get glad. Because this is the talk. We talk true facts here. We don't talk about people old deeds and stuff. Now we talk about now. Why it's time to clean this stuff up. And unfortunately, a lot of them are known to be dedicated, loyal, and a lot of them are very trusting. But there are some of them. There's some of them, boy, they will have at it. They will get with you when you try to make a victim out of them. I only wish that they would warn everyone. Some of them just get mad and leave. And some of them get mad and stay in the place but don't share and warn others. I wish all of them would get aggressive and just tell and just be honest about
Here's another comment.
it. Yes.
This is from Minister Pace. They tried that when we were young girls, but when they tried it, they got their butt tied up and beat down. One young girl was never the same. We learned to we learned to look out for one another always.
Wow. That church laid out some street justice. They got what they tied them up and beat them.
Apparently, looks like
Is
it.
that what it said? They got tied up, got their butt beat?
She said they tried, oh goodness. They tried that when we were young girls, but when they tried it, they got their butt, hold on. They got their butt tied up and beat down. One young girl was never the same. We learned to look out for one another always. So they got tied.
Wow. Who that time got tied up people? That's the pastor. Who that? That's the pastor. Why y'all beat the pastor? Wow. Imagine that. I'm tired of pastor and beating. Did the pastor turn around? Charge you with stuff. Hey, listen. Law is funny that way. It's more victim oriented to punish the victim than give justice to the victim. More times than few. Especially in our case. Like it or not, the truth is here. So no more comments about that. About them making the elderly a target and making them a victim. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's a shame. Um, Especially when some of them are starting to experience some things because they are older and things are changing with them. For somebody to take advantage of it in the manner that some of them do. There are some places where, and I'm just being honest, where they just study laying hands on them just to keep them coming so they can get a piece of their check. God said just keep coming. God said he's going to heal you. And they know good and well that ain't going to happen. They know. Unfortunately, they are victims. Not all. Not all of them. Some of them ain't gonna tell nobody. But they will introduce you to how they help them. Might be something like what we just heard in that comment. Because I would consider in that situation or circumstance, I would think about my mother, my grandmother, all. I would listen. You gotta have some kind of, you gotta have a moral compass about yourself. Why don't you take advantage of you got elderly people in your family? You wouldn't want nobody to do that to them. Don't let me go. Some of them are even targeting some of these elderly people who are not all there with their skills. I'm putting them with, and they're cheating. Don't tell me the truth. Somebody just went to jail for me. This the church. It's trying to clean this crap up. Still keep mad at me. Time for talk. Let's talk. Shouldn't make victims out of the elderly. Shouldn't make victims out of children. The teenagers are victims now. There are things coming out now that when people express it, the first thing that happens, they get attacked. This wall of defense going on. Well, why are you sitting in there every Sunday and you do it? And you don't want to charge straight out. Leaders all want to wash their hands when it's found that they're done. Self-correction should occur. And you should never reject help if it's going to make them better. I believe that's the way it should be. Do we have time for something?
4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes. In the 4 minutes that we have, we want some feedback on should we continue with Freedom Mind to Talk? Can we have someone to let us know, should we continue with Freedom Mind to Talk? Anyone?
Yes, you should continue with Free Your Mind to Talk because it's liberating and it helps us that are here in the sanctuary, and I'm pretty sure it's helping those who are online, logged on to be able to break free and not be in bondage anymore. Maybe they're holding stuff in silence of the stuff that you talked about tonight. Maybe they were molested or taken advantage in such a way, even the elderly. So I think this is good to continue and go forth with.
Thank you. We are going to be making phone lines available in the future. Just stick with us. Just hang in there. We're gonna take calls. We're gonna try to be supportive and helpful. We are skilled here. We are an equipped ministry. I'm very thankful for that. I appreciate the fact that we do have help. We have support. We have strength. We have backgrounds. Anyone else? Should we continue with Free Your Mind to Talk? Well, it's quiet in the house, so I guess not. Guess we should not continue. I did get one yes. Do we have one from the line?
Not yet.
Does anyone have a comment on why we should not continue? Speak freely. No? Well, I'm so glad we did have this time. I'm so glad we did start with Free Your Mind to Talk. And we're going to try to continue with Free Your Mind to Talk. We just started. This is the first time. I am glad that we were able to do it. I hope it was edifying. I hope it was encouraging. I hope it helped somebody. Free Your Mind to Talk is something that we wanted to do for a long time. Trust me, when it gets hot and heated, we will not get disrespectful. We will not get out of character. No comment will throw me over the top. No comment will make me mad. No comment will make me say anything malicious to anyone, even if it's disrespectful. I am here to let you express yourself. If I didn't want you to express yourself, then I shouldn't be on my life.
There's a comment.
Yes.
Sister Witt said, yes, continue it.
But we hope that we get the word out about Freedom Mind to Talk so that more people can log in and watch Freedom Mind to Talk. I'm still learning how to do this channel to where people can go onto the channel and watch this particular segment. So stick with us. We love you. We love you. God bless you and your family, and continue.